Okay, I want to show you if you're doing a very large knife. This machine has no problem doing a knife that's this big. You set it the same way. You put the tip at the corner of the machine, you bring it up until the blade just covers, lock it in place, and then you start at the back of the knife, draw it across, and then just rotate it at the tip, just like that. If you're doing a smaller knife, like a paring knife, you need to take the guide clip off because it'll get in the way. And you really don't need to set the tip so much. Just bring it up till it's just up to the edge of the machine, and then tilt it out enough so that the tip covers the edge of the machine. And with a paring knife like this, you could start with even a 600 stone if it's in good shape. And you need to move the knife very little. A knife this size, just barely move it. Just like that. Once again, you sharpen it till you get a burr. Wipe off the stone. Take the burr off. And then use the ceramic to finish it. And I just want to say a word about steak knives. A lot of people try to sharpen steak knives, but they don't sharpen very well. This is a fortune repairing knife, and I think it makes the best steak knife in the world. And all you have to do is buy a brand new fortune repairing knife, take your ceramic, take the edge off, like that, and that knife will cut steak for years and never need to be touched. It's just absolutely brilliant, and they only cost like $5 or $6 a piece. It's very, very nice. The next knife we're going to tackle is a sporting knife. And this is a custom knife, and it's just a little bit too short to reach all the way across the machine. So there's two ways you can sharpen this knife. You can put it on the machine like this and rotate the blade out over the end of the table so you can sharpen the tip, or you can put the guide clip on and you can make a little riser block like this. This is just a little scrap of wood that I cut to the shape of the blade, the length and the width of the blade, and I notched the corner out for the thumb stud. So I'm just going to put that on the end of the table like that, put a piece of tape over it. Now I can sharpen the whole blade without moving the knife. And with a knife like this, I'd probably start with a 600 stone, or a 320 if it's dull, and a 220 if it's really dull. And I'm going to set the angle, which I need to show you how to do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put a little felt tip marker on the edge of the knife. And so my aim here is to put the factory angle on this knife. And I'm going to start at an angle which I'm pretty sure is lower than the angle on the knife. And you can see that the stone is cutting way at the back of the bevel, and I've got lots of black tip marker out towards the edge. So then I'm going to raise the pivot up to 21 degrees, which is there. That's perfect. See, I took the marker off clean. And 21 degrees is pretty much the standard angle for most pocket knives. But you can see how I can go down the entire blade all the way around the tip without having to move the knife. And if I don't have to move the knife, I can get perfect tracking. And then I go through the same drill. I go up through the finer stones. And you don't take the burr off between steps. So I'm going to go from my 600 up to my 1000. Slide the stone in, tighten the knob. And you just let your hand rest on the knob. You don't want to grab it tight. If you grab the knob tight, you'll wind up twisting it and lifting the stone, because you want the stone to be able to follow the shape of the edge. So you want to keep it very loose in your hands, and the pressure is just a little more than the weight of your arm. So now I'm taking the edge up to 1000 grit, and that takes about 2 passes to do that. Notice I'm using very little water, because you get very little sloughing on these really fine stones. All you really need to do is wipe them with a wet cloth. And I put just a little bit of dish soap in the water, which really helps keep the stones clean. Okay, so I'm still not going to take the burr off. And now I'm going to go on to the polish tapes.